We have the stop and switch and the powerful self-image. So these are actually psychological tools that you can use, and we're going to practice them today so that you actually have an experience of this, and then you can use them more easily in the future. So I'm not going to just tell you what it is and leave you off to go and try it on your own. We're going to try it today. So these would be interventions that we would use in an NLP counseling session. And so, I mean, people pay between $150 and $250 for a session. You're getting it today for free. So the stop and switch is, we can't just have no thoughts. Unless you're maybe an enlightened yogi, it's not possible. So we need to stop the negative thoughts that we don't want and then switch to something else. We can actually switch to any thought. It's like distracting yourself. Whatever you focus on the positive thing, it determines what you miss, that negative part. But if you have really strong, stressful, negative emotions going on, sometimes it's really helpful to switch them to something equally as powerful. And so today we're going to create a powerful self-image, and this self-image is going to be based on your own past experiences of being successful and confident, and it will be linked. So there's something called anchoring. So let's say you have a boat and you want to anchor it in a certain part of the ocean, you drop the anchor so it stays there. So now the boat is linked to that part of the ocean. And in the same way, when you link a bunch of emotions and ramp them up, link them to a picture and a feeling, you can just later on do that, see that picture, do that feeling, and all those positive emotions will come up. So you don't have to do the whole process every time. You're going to do the process today, and later you can just get it in an instant whenever you need it. So, stopping negative thoughts is, if you're imagining something, if you're seeing it, you would turn that thing white. If you turn that thing white, you're not seeing it anymore. If you're saying things to yourself like, oh, I suck, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, stuff like that, change it to a tone that overrides it. So it may sound kind of annoying to some people, but I just use this tone. It sounds like, nee. So I would turn it white and hear, nee. Then it's gone, but you don't want to stay there. That's not a nice state. You're going to bounce up to a different thought or your powerful self-image afterwards. So you just want to quickly stop the thought using that method and then switch to something else. But we'll practice that in a minute. The other thing we're going to practice is looking back at how far you've come versus only looking at how much you still have to do, and self-efficacy. So these two guys this line represents all the things they have to do to achieve a goal. They both start at the same place, they're both in the same spot right now, but this guy is upset and overwhelmed because he's only looking at what he still has to do. He's already slogged through all that part, and he's looking at how much more he has to do, and it's making him tired and depressed. This guy, he's taking a minute out and he's looking back. He's like, wow, I already achieved 3/4 of what I have to do. I only have a quarter left. I can totally do this. So when I was learning anatomy, I was this guy at first. So on the very first day, you go and you're learning just about the bones of the head. So there's 4 parts to the bones. There's all these different sutures. Each one has its own name. There's all these holes in the skull for the blood vessels and the spinal cord. Each one of those has a name. Well, each different ridge has a name. There's like 1,000 things you have to know. And that was 1 2-hour class. And you go the next time, and it's the spinal cord. And you have 16 parts of each vertebrae, and each section has a different name. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? So the test is coming closer, and the test is coming closer, and I'm like, I still have all this stuff to do. Freaking out. And then finally I thought, hey, I looked back at my notes. I thought, wow, I've memorized all of that. I know all this stuff already. And then I only have this part left. And then all of a sudden I had motivation to keep going. So I would really recommend looking back at how far you've come. First of all, you're going to feel proud of yourself, and you're going to be more energized to keep going. You'll notice you only have this part left. The other part, self-efficacy, that is your prediction of how well you're going to do on the next time you do something. So, and it's based on your past successes. So if you've just been successful, let's say you're in swim meet, you've just won one of your races, you beat your time, you're probably going to say, oh, next time I'll probably do good too. But sometimes it only takes one negative experience or one failure to ruin your self-efficacy until you get that next one again. So another example, I was at Langara. Langara was a lot easier than UBC. And I did really well on almost all of my tests, you know? It's mostly question and answer. They don't ask you about concepts and all this stuff. And so I came to UBC. My very first test was in hard class statistics, and I got a really low mark. And immediately, 2 years of feeling confident and successful was destroyed. So my prediction was, what am I going to do good on the next test? So what I had to do was I had to go back and say, okay, I've just done like 50 tests. I all did very well in all of them, and I only had one failure. Okay, I can do this. So I think that's a really good tool for us to remember teams as well. Okay, so what we're going to do for about the next 15 minutes is I'm going to take you through a little relaxation technique just to calm down and get inside yourself, and then you're going to create a powerful self-image, and then we're going to practice stopping thoughts and then looking back on our past achievements. And so you just need to get into any comfortable pose. If anyone wants to sit on the floor or go in the back, you're welcome to do that. So now, since we've done the guided imagery and we've practiced all these techniques, I just would like to say that it's good to practice these in a less stressful time first, or maybe just in our daily, everyday lives, just so that we get used to it. And so I wouldn't just set aside a big chunk of time to do this, because you're never going to do it. Just do it, you know, when you first wake up, when you're in the shower, when you're waiting in a lineup, you know, when you're driving, any time where you have to do something that you don't really have to think about, but you have to stand there, then you can do it. So this will help you to bounce back, just bounce a little bit higher. And then when to use these coping tools to stay resilient, you know, anytime that you notice a thought that threatens your good mood, when you're worried about failing, labeling a situation as hard or stressful, you're not sure that you can do something, when your mood starts to get sour. So these things can help you just not fall so far down the slope, or it can help you bounce up if you do fall down. So here's a list of the coping tools, and I've given you all a handout with those. And this is my final wish for you, that you will be able to bounce up and down on the tops of a craggy mountain without falling too far down.